Good evening, friends. Thank you so much for being here today. And we have a very, very high profile speaker, and she's a great friend. And I know her for years together, Mrin Agarwal. And she's the founder of FinSafe India Private Limited. Miran has more than 24 years of experience in wealth management, has worked with Citibank, Deutsche Bank, and Birla Sun Life. She has extensive experience in investment advisory and banking, debt, and stock markets. Miran was an independent investment advisor managing a multi-family office for uh, expe- uh, exceptionally high net worth clients prior to starting FinSafe. Miran founded FinSafe, a financial education organization, in 2014, focusing on equipping Indian with strategies to handle their money based on goals, growth, and safety. The company has already impacted over 60,000 people in the last 7 years of its journey. Miran is also a co-founder of Womantra, a financial awareness program for women professionals. Uh, she has won CNBC Grand Jury Prize for work done towards financial education and inclusion in the UTI CNBC Financial Awards for 2015 and 17. Mirin has been interviewed by Z, CNBC, and you can see her in every forum. You can't miss her, and including print media. She writes, she comes out with beautiful short videos to help advisors and to help investors too. And Miran also has been a treasurer of FLO Bangalore chapter, uh, and has been a Shoes Hero mentor. Miran has a passion for financial education and is aimed at addressing Indian financial literacy gap and transforming the economy through empowering people to make informed choices. And I would give this forum to Mirin to speak about, and I'm sure she's going to speak for around 40-45 minutes. And please share all your questions. Don't have the inhibitions. Please ask her, because it is for you, this forum, and each one of you should take this opportunity to ask her and uh, be a little more confident from this particular event that we bring in every month end with eminent speakers. And the floor is open for you, Mirin. And
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rupa. And thank you for having me here today. Well, I just want to tell you, so I'm not an active advisor anymore because 5 years back, I decided to, move out and move into financial education. At that point in time, it seemed like a very stupid move to a lot of people because I was running a financial advisory firm, managing a very large asset base and stuff like that. But something clicked in me to say that there is this big gap in financial literacy, and how can we do something about this? So I run a financial education company, and we work with companies across India. Any name you can pick up. We work with a lot of Fortune 500 companies across India on financial well-being of their employees. Let me tell you that the first 2 years in the journey were terrible. So 2016, 2017 were like terrible years. And I kept on telling myself, why the hell am I doing this? What's wrong with me? And I kept doubting myself. But I've always been a person who's stuck on to whatever I started. So I stuck on to it, and thankfully things got better. But through this journey, I have learned a lot. And I've been an entrepreneur since 2007. I mean, I started off on my own in 2007. So pretty much been a entrepreneur since 2007. And the moment, you work, you get out of a company and become on your own. It's really all about how you position yourself and what is the image that you create of yourself in the market. So the first thing that I want to share with you about the opportunity that exists today in India, uh, when we do our financial awareness sessions, and just to give you an idea, we've impacted about 70,000 people. In fact, we impacted about 29,000 people in the last 1 year through our programs. And this is across corporates, basically. So the people whom I'm talking about are actually working professionals, right? And when you talk about working professionals, this is what we are hearing from them. So at the beginning of every session, we have a survey that we run, asking them, some key challenges that they have. And what comes out very clearly is that most of them want financial planning advice. They need, I would just reterm that and say financial planning guidance. Okay. And another thing that comes out is that people are not adequately prepared for emergencies. So in fact, this week, okay, every day of the week, some client or the other has called and said that they've had some fatalities in their office, and they need, the spouse needs support, because the spouse has no idea about the finances. And you'll be surprised to see how unprepared people are for emergencies. So to me, so another thing is that one of the questions that I always ask in all my sessions is that, do you have a financial advisor? And I'll tell you, 95% of the people don't have it. And the reason, this is what they said, number one reason when you ask them is, we don't know how to find a financial advisor, right? We don't know if they can be trusted. And generally, there's a very bad opinion about the banks. Also giving advice, it's, we don't know whether they'll give us holistic advice or not. But the number one thing is, how do I reach a financial advisor? And how do I know that this financial advisor is actually going to deal with me or not? Right. So, what is the minimum size and stuff like that? I have no way to find out. See, even if somebody searches for financial advisors on the internet, the first ones that are going to come up right now, because of the SEO and everything, is going to be your Paytms and ET Money and all these Zerodha and all these people, right? And then whoever else is spending on Google marketing is going to come up, right? So they have no way to discover you. So there is a glaring need, to my mind, there's a glaring need for financial advisors and planners who are discoverable and visible. Okay. In today's context, who's discoverable and visible? It is only the investment apps, right? Everybody knows about Grow, Zerodha, ET Money, Kuvera, everything. I never hear anybody asking me whether XYZ firm is a good firm, right? So, that's where I think advisors need to work on, which is getting themselves to be more discoverable. Just a couple of things in terms of what people are looking for. Honestly, today, people are not looking for someone who's going to tell them which fund to buy, because that is easily available. वो आपको सब जगह मिल जाएगा, Morning Star, Value Research, सब जगह मिल जाएगा वो तो, all these investment apps, newspaper, everywhere you will get it, Money Control and all that. So what people really want is somebody who can guide them, okay, and who can provide them advice at a reasonable cost. I will not say low cost. And I have a huge point of view on pricing, which I'm also going to talk about. But essentially, somebody who can guide them through their financial life. I just want to share a little bit of what actually helped me in my financial journey. And I think, my image, as far as I know, was like a no nonsense, clean advisor. Uh, I was not driven by commissions. More importantly, since I handled a lot of large portfolios, of course, I would never, never share client portfolios or discuss about it anywhere. But I think more importantly, what was important is that, do your own research. Again, there is this tendency that we sometimes just tend to bow down to big clients, and we don't bother to, somehow we just go with what they're saying. So I would say that in my case, I stood my stance, and I did not always bow down to clients. So when I moved out from becoming an advisor to a educator, things really changed, because all of a sudden you don't have anybody to advise. And my whole essence of being an educator was that I'm going to be unbiased. And you won't believe the number of financial institutions that have approached us saying that, can you give us leads, because you're working with so many companies. We don't collect databases, but still, I mean, there's a way to do everything. Can you get us in? I've had so many fintechs calling me, and you'll never see on my website, or you'll never see anywhere that I'm promoting a single firm. And and that is the whole point, that it's not only, it's about how you project your values and your beliefs. I've got so many requests for financial advice. I've got companies saying that, can you do one-on-one advisory for senior management? And I said, no, I can't, because it's not financial education. Of course, I spent a lot of time, before 2016, I hardly had any social media presence. So I spent a lot of time building that profile, because I wanted to be seen as a thought leader in this space as well. And the last thing is really not caring about what anybody thought about me, right? Now, I think, what, when you want to enhance your financial profile, I think, you have to be clear about what you want to be. Do you want to be a do you want to be an executor, or do you want to be an advisor? Now, I know that SEBI has all sorts of names for it, and I don't want to get into what they allow you to do and what they don't allow you to do. The point is that the opportunity is there, out there, for people to actually go and grab. Before, I'm telling you, the actual genuine financial advisors are going to actually face huge competition from these investment apps. I'm sure you all already are. But believe me, there is so much more that you can offer than an investment app, because that investment app is just a platform at the end of the day. They are not advising anybody. And even if they get some advisors, those people are hardly going to have any experience. So to my mind, there's a huge opportunity for financial advisors today to position themselves as a financial mentor. Now, what does a financial mentor do? They do three things: they educate, they advise, and they provide accountability. And I think that is where it's not only about saying I'm a financial advisor and that I will just advise. You are going to educate, you're going to advise, and you're going to provide accountability by challenging behaviors, by asking tough questions. Many times what happens is clients will act as if unko sab pata hai, right? Ki aap, this, that, and all that. Everybody has like 10,000 views. It's about how you can, or they'll have some behavior to say, acha mere friend ne bola ki ye US ke stocks bahut achhe kar rahe hain right now, so I want to get into these US stocks. If you believe it's not right for the client, it's really about you challenging their behavior on this, right? So it's, this is where the value add is going to come. If you ask me, the value add is going to come in educating, in planning, and in providing the accountability. I will actually say the investment advice, which is which funds to put money in, is going to actually come last, right? So what are some of the things that you can do in order to enhance your profile further? Is also do your own research. I'm sorry to say this, but have you seen any mutual fund PPT, right? You look at any of the NFO PPTs right now, okay? So recently there was a FANG plus NFO. And if you looked at that PPT, honestly, you would think this is the next thing to buttered bread, right? मतलब ऐसा कोई investment है ही नहीं market में जो इतना return दे सकता है, जो इतना low cost है, जो इतना बढ़िया है, right? Look at all of these for the data that they provide you. I always love looking at these PPTs. You know why? Because they have some fantastic graphs and some fantastic data points for you that's going to help you. Okay. But let us stop parroting what mutual fund guys are saying. Okay. They have to sell their product. Of course, they're going to, tell you that this is a great product and that you should be getting your clients into it. You need to start doing your own research. Now, before all of this, of course, it's important to read. Please read. There is so much to read today. I cannot tell you. Some of the things that I like, I have listed down out here. This is not end all and be all. There are lots of very good blogs. One of the blogs that I like is Dollars and Data. I just like it for the way it's written, and of course, it's very US based. I like this book, Psychology of Money. I like this book called The Behavior Gap. That's because I'm interested a lot in behavioral finance. Pick out what you are interested in and read out more about that. For me, it's behavioral finance. For you, it could be something else. Again, general information about economy, about markets, personal finance. I would rate Bloomberg Quint very high on the quality of articles on economy that they come out with. I also like Mint and Money Control, but I'm just saying these are three publications that I have taken a paid subscription for, because I really like this. So even on investment books, there's a lot that you can read. In blogs, there are a lot that you can read. I don't like blogs of investors. I have seen a lot of investors who become very big bloggers and they keep giving gyan about investing. I don't follow any of those. No, I only look at blogs of people whom I think are experts. Like you have Ashwat Damodaran. In India, you have Sanjay Bakshi, Anant Narayan, right? I like to read because they come from an academic background. I like to read that. So what I'm saying is I have just given examples. You don't have to go with this alone. You figure out what is it that you like interesting, and then um, um, do that. The second thing, again, I know that SEBI has all these rules. So within whatever is possible, please get a financial planning certification. I want to tell you again and again and again, if you want to increase your client base, you need to go for youngsters, right? There are too many people who are chasing this 35 plus customer, who is very, in any case, very highly opinionated, has a limited wallet, and at the same time does a lot of choo-choo on pricing. Okay, look at youngsters. I'm telling you, this entire 20s 30s का जो population है, ये सब आपका investment apps में जा रहा है. They are the ones who are good customers because they will also give you good references. But I'll tell you something today, irrespective of the age group that you are in, please get a financial planning certification. I think you have NISM, you have FPSB, you have CFP. I again do not want to comment from the MFD RIA perspective, but whatever is possible, please try to get a certification. It is very important for you to approach everything from financial planning perspective. The other thing is knowledge on new products. I want to tell you, from 2018, we started getting queries about mutual fund. Believe me, till 2018 ना वही सब LIC की queries आती थी, ULIP की queries आती थी, okay, in our sessions. Suddenly 2018-19 we started getting mutual fund queries. This whole year, no, last 1 year, I have got queries only on these 3 topics. Okay, P2P I just added over there, but the 2 topics that I got queries were on REIT and of course cryptocurrency. And again, gain knowledge. Whatever your stance is, have a quantitative view about it. It's very easy to just say the product is, like, if you look at cryptocurrency, it's very easy to say that the product is not regulated in India, but break it down in numbers. So I'll tell you, now we are getting queries on this P2P. What is P2P? The person who is not able to get the loan from the bank is going to a platform where people like you and me, for extra return, are lending out money to this person. So when somebody talks to you about P2P, your first question should be, are you in the business of lending? Let's look at the returns, right? So you're getting 15% return. Post-tax, this 15% return is going to become at 30%, let's say 11.5%. And then if you're anyway investing, 10.5%, अगर आपको 10.5% return मिल ही रहा है, but then look at the risk you're taking. Would you rather not go and bet on profitable companies in Indian stock markets than betting on some guy who has such a bad credit history that he's not able to get a loan from a bank, right? So all I'm saying is that there are a lot of new products that are there. Somebody asked me about bill invoice discounting the other day. Please build up knowledge, read up about the history of these products, look at it, and always, break it down and explain it from a quantitative perspective to the client. Second thing, on client management is very important. Again, on client management, I want to give you an example. I have an account with one of the large Indian banks who's always trying to call me and tell me to invest money. Okay, so I had the investment counselor calling me, and he calls and he says, "I'm the investment counselor, and I thought I will just talk to you about some new investments that are there, which we believe are going to do really well." And he started talking to me about a capital guaranteed insurance product. So I asked him one question: what's the XIRR? Okay, he didn't know. And he told me, nahi, isme 8% capital guaranteed return hai. So I said, then I said, okay, send me the details. So I said, and then I wrote back to him and I said, as per my calculation, the XIRR was 3.7%. So the thing is, I was trying to tell him throughout the conversation, believe me, I was trying to tell him, but he didn't listen. I was going on telling him that I'm not interested in any insurance product, but he kept talking about it. Okay. And we have to learn to listen. Even I am guilty of not listening to some people, of listening to people fully. I'll be honest on that. Other thing is you really need to wow clients with your technical knowledge. Are you sending them a monthly or a quarterly report? Send a one-page report. Just tell them this is what your portfolio is doing. This is how much your equity return is. This is how much is your debt return. Is it very difficult to do that? I'm sure there are enough tools available these days that you can actually buy, right? Second thing is whenever there is a very big event. So I'm not saying, okay, now, nowadays, even when Fed has a meeting, then people are sending out commentary, right? अभी ये क्लाइंट को इतना इन्फॉर्मेशन भी नहीं चाहिए कि मतलब यूएस फेड ने ये बोला या यूएस फेड ने वो बोला एंड ऑल दैट, राइट? Figure out what are the important what are the important events that are going to impact the client's portfolio, and maybe an important event that's going to impact the client's profitability. So I'll tell you, we do some CSR work actually for one company. So there was recently a new CSR policy, I think at the beginning of the year. So when this CSR policy came out, I just sent a text to the client that I read this. What do you think about it? What do you think are the implications for you? Don't you think, whatever, with my little two-liner ki mera kya view tha iske bare mein. So what I'm saying is figure out what business the client is in. And this is the way the client is going to value you more, right? It's not only about what investment you came and you sold him. It's really about, is he able to make a meaningful conversation with you, not only on his portfolio, but about everything in his life. And of course, his work is a big part of his life. Have a date with the client. Okay. In private banking, I worked in private banks. In private banking, you have a date, like 18th of the month, you will call 1, 2, 3 clients. You know what's going to happen? Maybe the first few times he's going to find it painful, he or she. After some time, they're going to remember, Arey, aaj 18th hai, this person is going to call me up today. And they'll keep their questions ready. So have a date with the client. Okay. Technology, you have to utilize it. Believe me, I'm technologically so challenged. Just today on Twitter, I have put out saying that can someone connect me to a fintech because I need to go digital. Today there is no business that you can do without going digital, right? So first of all, you need technology for a financial planning tool. Secondly, be that backend for the client, right? So, reminding him about tax filing, reminding about premium payment, greetings on birthdays and stuff like that, right? The other thing that you should always do, and this is something that I've always done with everybody that I've ever worked with, even now, actually, I do a lot of free financial planning for whoever approaches me. I do a free financial plan for them. I always tell them, please, first of all, ensure that aapka jo demat account mein jo email ID hai, you're getting NSDL statement or not. See, the client should feel ki if I need information at some time, I'm not dependent on my advisor to get it, right? So you're showing to the client, hey, here, you also have empowered to get your own information yourself, right? But I think, you have to figure out technology and use technology to take care of a lot of mundane tasks. Now, I also want to talk about mundane tasks in terms of drawing a line on what you can and what you cannot do. Once I had a very big client who said, I had bought all these shares in 90s and I don't know what has happened to them. Can you figure out? And I said, no, I can't. Is it the job of a financial advisor to figure out कि आपके physical shares कहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, क्या करना है उसके बारे में? I don't know. You have to figure out and draw a line. I have seen people telling advisors, oh, in this post office, I have this investment. इसमें आप जाकर जरा मेरा वो ले आओ या ये करवा दो या वो life certificate, you get the life certificate deposited in the post office and all that. I don't think that's the job of a financial advisor. And I think you have to think about it very carefully. Where am I going to draw the line? Again, very, very, very important. I am getting calls every day from companies saying man has died. Woman doesn't even know demat account number kya hai, kahan hai demat. In one case, I get a call saying that she has never used the ATM because the man only used to take out the money from the ATM account. So she doesn't know the debit, the PIN. Okay. please try to include women. You know, I have heard from the most pedigreed, experienced women saying, I don't want to deal with male advisor because they look down on me and they act as if I don't know anything. Please, please do not do that. Please try to include women in the conversations. And this is a very good time for you to do it with the COVID situation where there is, you know, uncertainty and suddenly people are dying. This is a very good time for you to go to your client and say, sir, can we include your spouse next time onwards, right? So please, you know, from client, see this, I'm just saying, how can you enhance your profile with a client so he thinks of you as beyond saying, okay, he's just going to come and tell me some investment to do, right? No, you have to be there as a financial guide and a mentor. Now your digital profile is very important. Okay, in your digital profile you need to have a website, or you need to at least have a brochure or something that you can send the client. Okay, now in this something that you send it, so let's say it's a website that you've created. Aajkal to matlab 4-5,000 maybe website ban jata hai, right? So please don't be generic. Like, don't say we do financial planning. You always have to put down what is in it for the client. Don't try to say this is my service. The first thing you need to focus on is what is in it for the client, and then you can say, okay, this is what I do if you want to, right? So you can see the example that I have given. Of course, it's very important, always nice to have a short video explaining about yourself, of course mentioning about your certification and your experience, the number of clients that you handle, be open about it, right? Pricing and minimum portfolio size handled is very important. Okay, be very open about your pricing. Is why should you feel bad if you're charging the client something? You're providing a service. You know, in all businesses there are going to be people who are going to provide service. Somebody can provide the same service as 10,000, somebody will give the same service as 50,000. You should not feel ashamed about charging more if you feel you're charging higher than what others are. No, you have to think about it from what your experience is, right? And be open about it. And you know, don't how do I say, don't negotiate on that factor at all. Provide some free calculators and reading content. And of course, try to do Google ads. To be honest, I haven't found it that useful because, you know, the biggies, all these investment apps are spending 10 times what we can spend. So I don't find it very useful, but you can check it out if you can do it at a city level. Again, social media profile is very important. Okay, you need to showcase thought leadership in this area. So I want to show you this video, and I'm not going to show you the whole video, but I'm going to show you this video about this guy. He's got some 5 lakh followers on YouTube. Okay, now he's some serial entrepreneur and probably made tons of money out there. But you know, these are the type of people who are actually coming and putting out videos and getting 10 lakh likes or 10 lakh views or whatever it is. And this is what our great man has to say.
And that's why we change the mix of investments that we do. 20s में, for instance, मैंने recommend किया था कि go completely on equities. आप stock market में invest करिए, value investing करिए, which means you buy stocks for a long term, you earn from dividends, you earn from the appreciation of the stock price, and that is the best way to do it. But 30s में आते आते mix थोड़ा सा change होगा. क्या? सबसे पहले, I still believe that you should invest in equities. लेकिन अगर आपका total investment amount, जो कि सारे महीने के खर्चे निकाल के सब कुछ करके बनता है, उसका 40%, around 40%, I feel you should invest in equities या stock market. अभी आप कैसे करेंगे? आप direct stocks ले सकते हैं. If you really want to buy a company, क्योंकि आपको विश्वास है उस कंपनी में, मे बी आप उस कंपनी में काम करते हैं और मे बी आपने रिसर्च किया हुआ है, बहुत सारे टूल्स एंड मैकेनिज्म्स हैं जिसके थ्रू आप कन्विक्शन पा सकते हैं कि ये कंपनी का स्टॉक मैं लेना चाहती हूँ. It could also be a combination or a portfolio of stocks, which is what most people end up doing. आप एक म्यूचुअल फंड ले सकते हैं, equity focused म्यूचुअल फंड, बैलेंस्ड म्यूचुअल फंड नहीं, डेट म्यूचुअल फंड नहीं, equity focused म्यूचुअल फंड. इसका मतलब ये कि जो भी आप म्यूचुअल फंड खरीदें, इन्वेस्टमेंट करने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप अपना घर खरीद रहे हैं और उसी में रह रहे हैं. That to me is not an investment. वो आपकी इच्छा है. मैंने buy और sell house के ऊपर एक वीडियो बनाया है, आप उसको देख सकते हैं. And I will इसमें थोड़ा सा रिस्क कम लेंगे. This 10% can go into cryptocurrency. आप कोई भी बिटकॉइन या इक्विवेलेंट करेंसी खरीद सकते हैं, और इट कैन गो इनटू.
Okay, so you got the gist of what I'm trying to say, right? As all of you know, anybody's asset allocation is dependent upon what their financial goals are. So how can somebody come and say put 40% into only equity fund, balance fund, risk ka kya hua pata nahi. Then the guy actually went on to say to put 20% in corporate bonds, saying that it is better than FD because it gives you a fixed return, but better return than FD, but it's as safe as FD. I think he's forgotten there's DHFL and ILFS. DHFL, of course, AAA rated, right? The depositors, NCD depositors never got back their money. Then he said put 20% in real estate, that to buy a shop, and 10% in cryptocurrency. How many of you think that any investor who followed this can actually meet their long-term financial goals? Right? And these are people who are getting 10 lakh views. And this is what really turns me off, because see, at the end of the day, the genuine advisor community is not coming out on social media and talking. And so you have all these people who've experienced some investing and who are primarily investors sharing their investment success, but getting incredible number of views, right? This is what I'm telling you, you need to fight against this, because now the next thing is this Paytm and all these investment apps are now actually hiring social media influencers. I just read an article where they're going to hire social media influencers and peddle more of this stuff. And this is when people that you're going to go to are going to say, oh, I saw this video, and in this video he said 10% cryptocurrency, or he's telling this corporate FD mein dalo, but aap to corporate FD nahi bech rahe hain, so I don't want to believe you. So I really think that collectively as an advisor community, it is very important. Believe me, you don't need to have great skills to make a video. Today, people are only interested in content. किसी को jazz की जरूरत नहीं है, वो खुद देखिए एक कमरे में बैठा हुआ है, right? So it's not as if like, people want some jazzy background or something like that. People are interested in what content you can share with them. And how much is it of use to them, right? So please, you need to have a social media visibility, which means that you need to basically start making videos, whether you like it or you don't like it. But I really think the genuine advisor community needs to do that. Have a LinkedIn profile. I see very few advisors having LinkedIn profile. Very important. Please have a LinkedIn profile. Follow your clients. Comment on their work. When you comment on their work, their other connects will see. Isn't that an indirect marketing for you, right? Visual content. Okay. Do videos on trending topic. Right? So pick up anything trending. Abhi aap NFO hi le lijiye as trending topic, right? Kitne roz ek NFO nikal raha hai, right? So pick up some trending topic, or questions that people are asking you a lot about. Pick up something on those lines. Keep it short. I do a lot of videos. I ensure that my videos are below 5 minutes, because anyway people don't have attention span, and I always write down points before I do a video. Okay. Start doing, one is about existing clients and client management, being technical and all that. Start doing some free stuff. So do a FB live. 5 log bhi aaye to it's okay, right? Tell your friends and family that I'm doing this. Can you share it with your circles that I'm doing an FB live, and main aakar questions answer karunga ye FB live. It's very easy to set up FB live, right? There are investment groups. There's an investment group known as Asan Ideas for Wealth in Facebook, and I think it's got 75,000 followers. So try to get on to some of these investment groups, but ensure you only offer answers. Do not pitch for clients out there. Okay. So you should just be seen as saying, okay, I'm just coming here as an expert and I'm giving back to society and I'm doing this, right? Try to give comments in personal finance columns in local newspapers. I would say that if you are having, a tie-up with any of the financial institutions, use them, tell them. They all have marketing wings, right? Use them and tell them that, hey, I would like to start giving comments in the newspaper. If you're confident about it, that is basically. But I'm just telling you, these are ways and means that you have to focus on. Otherwise, you're going to be in that small little circle of yours, if you want to really go beyond that, these are some things that I think you can't do without today. Of course, social media behavior is very, very important. 2 days back, I never forward anything to anybody. Okay. 2 days back, somebody sent me a forward saying that in 2 years, whoever has got vaccinated is going to die. I'm sure you also got that forward, right? It was floating around, turned out to be fake news. So, मेरे को वो 5 forward आए हैं उसके, and I am like, please think, on what basis do you think like half the world is going to go and die in 2 years? What nonsense is all this? And so, please do not send these COVID-related forwards. Even if it's something good, like saying ki, okay, some new COVID facility has got set up. It's okay. When people need it, they will search for it. You don't need to keep sending forward. I want to tell you, on my FB, I don't know who it was, but I'm connected to a lot of people. But on one of the groups I saw, somebody has put a post on retirement planning, and the post was like this: there's a 20-year-old who's married to a 70-year-old, and somebody is asking her that did you marry him thinking that he's 50-year-old, and she says, no, I married him thinking that he is 90-year-old. And then there's a tagline saying, start retirement planning early. Now, to me, that's a very sleazy post. It's very cheap to put out stuff like that. You might find it funny, then laugh about it in private, but please, this cannot be your social media profile. I mean, I don't know where I saw it, but I was so disgusted. Similarly, be careful of what you like on social media. Please stay away from this political, religious views. Even with clients, I want to tell you, never get into political conversations. That's one thing I have always desisted from doing. See, today, in India, you have either pro-Modi, anti-Modi, or angry with Modi right now. Okay. Now, you don't know client is going to go between what, whether he is client part A, part B, or part C, right? So I'm saying just steer clear of political conversations. It does not help you in any way to get closer to the client. Similarly, religious views. Lot of people had views on what was that was happening at the last year at the beginning, right? CA or
Kumbh Mela.
Kumbh Mela, CAA. I am saying these all views are for you to discuss between your friends and family, but do not put it out on social media. And finally, I have also seen that, sometimes I've seen people come and discuss their family issues, So what happened? No, I had gone with somebody to meet a client. So this was when I was in the bank. I was helping one of the other RMs. Suddenly he started talking about some family issues, the RM. So I was looking at him, ki ye sab baat kyun kar raha hai? See, nobody is interested in knowing anything about you. Okay? आप उनके बारे में बात करेंगे, उनके बच्चों के बारे में पूछेंगे, उनके extended family के बारे में पूछेंगे, they'll be very happy about it. But honestly, nobody is interested in knowing कि आपकी दुख भरी कहानी क्या है. Okay, that's the reality at the end of the day. I commiserate with you, but if you just go on and on and on, then it becomes, it becomes a little over the top. And then, if you're sending greetings, like you could send greetings on festivals, there's no harm in it, but please make it professional looking. Try not to put God photos and all those things. End of the day, you need to appear neutral. Finally, I know that we are getting short on time, so I just want to speed up on this. This is another very important thing that I want you to follow up on. Build a city cohort. So what is a city cohort? In a specific, and you can do this under FIFA probably, but in a particular city, like if you're in Calcutta, for example, or if you're in Bombay, for example, you have, I don't know if it's already there, Rupa, so, but I'll still mention it. Make a body of advisors. Let's say under FIFA itself, I don't want to get into the structural part of it. All I'm saying is the advisors of that city come together, make a group, and create I will not say association, but let's say you make a Facebook group and you make a small website. How many times have you seen in the newspaper it comes that CA's association did this, doctors association did this? कभी किसी ने financial advisors association सुना है कुछ करते हुए? नहीं. So all I'm saying is nobody is going to do the PR for you. You all have to do it together. Rather than you can do it individually, of course, But another way is to make the city aware that there are financial advisors. You can build a group together on Facebook where you say financial advisors for whatever, financial advisors online helpline. Think of how to name it nicely. Essentially, this is a group on Facebook where you're just answering queries. You're doing some charitable work out there, basically. But why are you doing this? It is only because you want people to know that we exist. As I said, remember, you need to be discoverable. You need to be visible, right? Do some charitable activities, go for some blood donation or something like that, and try to publicize the same. Okay. See, collectively, all of you together, if you're 100 advisors, imagine each of you have 100 family members or friends on Facebook. Certainly, if you're going to talk like, 100 into 100 basically is 10,000, right? Anything that you can always put it across to 10,000 people, right? So try to do something like this where at a city level, the advisors get together. And the only idea behind this whole thing is to do some free stuff that is going to help people, but that way you are also going to become more discoverable and more visible. I think this is a very important thing. The other thing that I have is an industry level suggestion. I know that there is one or two websites where there is some ranking of financial advisors, but I think I'll tell you something, it's unfortunate, but every ad that I see today is about direct and it is about index, ETF, right? Nowhere am I seeing anybody saying advisor zaruri hai. Maybe 2-3 people are saying it, but nobody is. आप ट्विटर में जाओगे तो ट्विटर में भी सब बैशिंग ही करते रहते हैं एडवाइजर्स की, और कोई काम नहीं है, right? So I the point is, at an industry level of financial advisors, you need to get together and hire a good PR who can do some good brand building for you all, because nobody else is going to do it for you. Unlike the insurance company, which has pushed itself basically on its agents, it's not the case in the other industries, right? The other thing that I really feel importantly is that we need a Practo type of a website for MFDs, right? Where there is a listing of all the MFDs, where there is a ranking, whatever, it's a consumer ranking, right? And all information is available. Because today when people ask me, is there any website that I can go to find out about financial advisors, I don't have any answer for them, right? So really summing up, I think, personal branding is extremely important, in which you need to maintain a neutral image, have a good social media profile, have good technical knowledge, for which you need to read a lot. Use of technology is very important. And I think your whole focus should be on becoming from an investment advisor, it should be on becoming a financial mentor. That's it, folks. Rupa?
Oh, what happened?
Your video is off.
Yeah, just one sec, because I think I'll have to. I think you muted.
I didn't do anything. Oh, you're there.
Okay, wait, 1 minute. Start the video. Yeah, no.
Should I make you host, Rupa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The host.
Sure.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Mrin. I think you were crisp and very clear, and I think I got to learn a lot. And I think really, I had a lot to learn from you. And I think thank you so much, that idea that you gave, saying that. So we do have WhatsApp groups of cities where the MFDs and advisors do exchange things and ask questions. But I think this is a very good idea, saying that you should have a group on FBs, because we have a lot of people on Facebook. And I think that's something which I will definitely look into and explore, and say that how we can do it and how we can enhance, as you said, more discoverable, basically, because I understand and I absolutely know, saying that this is one of the most important things, saying that a lot of people need us, we are not able to reach there. So it's a combination of both, saying that people need us and we have to reach across to them. And I think that's one thing which is amazing. And I think I will also connect with you and to have a little more insights about it. I think there are a few questions, Mrin, which I'm just going to ask you. Someone is asking you which sector is special now.
No, another right person to answer those queries.
Correct. I know. So one thing which I like to ask is saying that please suggest certification details for MFD should do.
I just came across recently that I think NISM also has some certification, and there's CFP, of course, and I think FPSB also has a financial planning, and then I think there's Network FP also. So please check it out. I am not so up to date on that. But get out, I would say go for something that is well recognized, So there are a lot of new ones coming up, but go for something that's really well recognized.
Okay, so let me just have some more questions. So someone's writing saying that like the idea on Pratco kind of website for MFDs. That's what I said. So I have a question, Mrin. I think no one has posted questions. So I have a question saying that when you went through your presentation, I think there is so much to I could refer to, because I have gone through those problems over a life and I have overcome it, because most of the time is about sharing your ideas with people and learning. And what has also helped me saying that to get, as you rightly said, your conviction about anything that the client asks you, because most of the time the clients ask you questions which is what they hear in social circles, in their friend circles, and in the media, and now more to say in social media, like what is good and what is bad. And what happens is the recency bias is what comes up most of the time in the communication. But the client definitely looks up to you to see that what is your conviction, what do you believe. Correct. Obviously he will throw his questions, but what you rightly said, so I want you to throw some light on that, because that's where most of us fail, Mrin.
Yeah, and I have faced this situation a lot, honestly. I will also, so what happens is obviously people have their own views. So since I live in Bangalore, not now, but since the last 10-15 years, there's this big venture capital startup culture out here, right?
Yeah.
And you always had people who will say that, okay, I want to invest in this startup, right? So what do you think about it? So my answer is very clear that first of all, you need to get into a startup which is in your industry, because you understand your industry better. Don't go by those Excel spreadsheets that people are showing you, because end of the day, that's an Excel spreadsheet, right? Yeah. Second point is be prepared to lose the entire money, right?
Perfect.
Now, there have been cases where, I have told people ki don't exit from equity, but they said, no, I want to exit. The market is really down and all that. So I have documented that, right? So I think that's a very important thing, because, many times I have seen that when the markets are going good, people will say, oh, market acha hai, but the markets are doing bad, and they'll say ki aapne ye suggestion aise diya, right? It's very common. Advisors across the world face it, you and me.
Absolutely.
So I think, it's very important to document. Even if you go for a meeting, you can always send minutes of the meeting, or you can just send a short mail saying, hello, so-and-so, these are the 3 things that we discussed. I thought I'll just jot it down and put it for your perusal or something. I always used to do that. I always used to jot down, especially sell decisions that are made, or, something where we are not in concurrence. You will always make what I'm saying is put it on record, so that tomorrow nobody can come and blame you and say ki aapne aise kaha tha, or something like that.
So basically you're saying that I think that minutes of the meeting makes the ground level as if you're putting
sorry to interrupt, but the other thing is also, as I said, that if you're taking a particular stance, have a reasoning behind the stance. It cannot be, oh, my gut feel is saying that market is going to recover, right? So have a stance behind it, and make your stance very clear. So don't be dithering in your stance is the other thing.
So someone has written how to register clients on NSDL. I think, Bobby, you can talk to me and I'll help you with this later. Most of the investors, I think I did ask you this question, most of the investors sometimes trying to impose their ideas for investment, how to handle such investors. There's
Yeah.
one more question which also talks about saying that, which is your current read, and also can you suggest some books that we can give to our clients?
See, I'll tell you something. This giving books to clients, no, I don't know. That may not be their area of interest. And other thing is, I mean, if they are interested in investing, then certainly you can give it to them. But otherwise, don't give them a book which is telling them how to invest money. Because uske liye to aap ho na, batane ke liye how to invest money. So even if you want to give now, give little hi-fi book. Like this Psychology of Money is a good book, but honestly, when you read through it, no, you'll figure out that a lot of these things you're anyway doing, right? But I like this book, and I've always keep it here. It's called The Behavior Gap. I really like this book a lot, The Behavior Gap. Okay. I really like this book a lot. So, give books like this. Don't give books on where to invest and all that, Like I know that there are a lot of books some books in India which are very popular by Indian authors, which is in how to invest. Don't give that.
Okay, so can an MFD advise after having investment advisor certification NISM? I don't think
That
so.
I don't know that. Yeah.
I don't think so. You can advise. It's just to help you, enhance your knowledge to understand and communicate. I think, but you can't do you can't do investment advisory. That's a separate SEBI examination that you have to do, and the SEBI clearance that you have to do. To do, yeah, I think most of the questions have come in and I've answered that. So I have one more question which I definitely want to ask you, is saying that, so if you look at the cult, I think you concentrate on a lot of women clients about how to manage finances by women, because I think that's one segment which has never been able to come past to their hurdles of saying that they can also manage money. So when I look at investments, you have to segregate and say that the people who are needy of your advice or help, and the people who don't need. I think there has to be a segregation of that. And what I've realized is saying that if you look at the segmentation, people who are actually needy are actually people who are women and youngsters who are coming in. That's the segment where a lot of potential for growth is there, a lot of potential of audience is available. So can you share something on that, Mrin?
Yeah, I forgot to mention it in my presentation, and I'm so happy that you asked me this question. Uh, you know, I know that this MFD and this RIA, all sorts of rules are there. So I don't know how you can do it.
Correct.
But my answer, I want to say this. A lot of people have actually asked me, are you available for a 1 hour consultation? So,
Right.
Today, I think if somebody can, and I would call that financial counseling. Okay. So honestly, now we ourselves were thinking like, should we reach out to some advisors and tell them, here are some companies who have employees, and these employees want to talk to somebody for, let's say, half an hour or 1 hour, and they'll pay you for it for free. Many, they're not wanting it for free. And you should not do it for free also, right? So, because you don't know if afterwards they're going to deal with you or not and stuff like that. I feel that there's a very big opportunity in this financial counseling. I don't know if you guys can get it going or something. Because, of course, the regulatory norms and everything are there. But today, this women, I'm saying working women professionals and this young generation, financial counseling, so this Practo type website, social media profile. I think somebody has asked about Insta Reel, so I'll answer that question. See, Avani, you have to see where is your audience. Okay. Again, Insta is youngsters. So if you feel ki aapka audience Insta mein hai, you do Insta Reels, no problem. Same thing you can put as YouTube short. You should just go and put everything in YouTube. Okay. You can put it as YouTube video or you can put it as YouTube shorts. The worst social media platform I can tell you is Facebook, because whatever you post, only 5% of the people who are following you will get it. So Facebook, even Facebook marketing is terrible. Don't waste money. And you should, another insight I will give you, because we have tried a lot of stuff, because we have some e-learning courses and all that. So we have tried a lot of stuff on digital marketing and all. Now, believe me, उसमें कुछ नहीं आता है. So don't spend money on digital marketing on FB for sure. I don't know on Insta and all, हमने try नहीं किया है, and YouTube में भी मैंने कुछ Google ad वगैरह कुछ किया नहीं है. So figure out where is your audience. If you feel your audience is on LinkedIn, then go and put it on LinkedIn. If you feel your audience is on Insta, do it there. And in any case, put everything on YouTube, because the biggest audience is YouTube. Facebook is useless. Twitter is useless.
Mrin, there is a question which has just come up. There are two questions. I think this is an anonymous attendee. I don't know who it is. Which software are you using for financial planning? And the second is, I read this article that you shared on Twitter regarding the 2 financial gifts that every mother needs, and I found it very interesting and relatable. Keep sharing your insights.
Thank you. I am so happy that somebody wrote to me about that article. See, a financial planning tool, there are many tools available. There are tools available from 10,000 rupees to Morningstar. I think Morningstar ka advisor workstation is, I don't know, I've not checked it out, so I don't know what it is. But I know that there are many companies. So there's one IFA now, which is in 10,000 or 15,000 or 20,000. Then there is some Red Vision. I know there are a lot of companies, so actually we have our own Excel based tool, and actually I'm not an active advisor, right? So I don't do all this anymore. But one thing that I do have, and I know it's expensive, but I still have it, is Morningstar. I find it very useful, and I've had it since 2007. It's very super expensive. There's another company known as Pulse Labs. It's a Bangalore-based company, and I have worked with them also. It's a research company. So like if you want to get a customized portfolio created, like if list of funds that you are recommending, right? जैसे Mint में आता है, या जैसे Value Research, या whoever else puts up these customized lists. If you want, based on, you'll have to give them the quantitative parameters. So for example, downside capture or liquidity or Sharp, what are the parameters? You can sit and discuss with them, and they can come out with a list of funds for you. And they're again quite cost effective. They also have a financial planning tool available. I think it's known as Pulse Labs. So check it out. But I think there are many companies. I mean, to be honest, I think I'm not doing justice to mentioning many other companies that are there. I've only mentioned what I have come across, and I have not done much research on this.
Yeah, I think what you said is right. There is a lot available. I think each of us have to test it out and see that how it works. And I think the best way to find is saying that you share it with other distributors and other advisors. I think when you talk to them, you get a lot of perspective about what is available. I think someone has written, please share the name of the company. I think we should Google Pulse Lab and see what's the name of the company.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Pulse Lab.
Yeah, I haven't worked on their tool or anything. Okay, I'm just telling you, but I know that they do research. So
yeah.
If you're looking at a person who can do some research for you, then you can reach out to them. But I think they also have some tools that are available.
So, Mrin, when you started, your presentation, because I made some notes, you definitely said that, saying that you need to guide your customers. Okay, that is very important. And I think that is where you actually cut an ice between you and the client, because you're actually guiding him without any specific products. That's one. But something which you highlighted was do your own research. Can you just highlight a little bit more on that, so that, this MFD community and members who are here can actually benefit from that, please?
Yeah. So you see, what are the main products that we are dealing with is mutual funds, right? I'll not comment on direct stocks. But on mutual funds,
correct.
Yeah. Like for example, on mutual funds, as I said, I was using Morningstar for the longest time. it's a very expensive tool, honestly, to use,
Correct.
but it's beautiful if you like quantitative
Mhm.
analysis, and I love quantitative analysis. So that was the reason that I, stuck on
Correct.
using the tool. So you see, way back in 2007,
Mhm.
there were not too many tools available, and Morningstar was one of them. So I took them, but because of the
Correct.
quality of the data, I just love it, but it's very expensive. So one is I do my own quantitative research. I don't have too many opinions on the qualitative aspect of the portfolio. That's because today the fund manager might have some 10 stocks and tomorrow he might change it. So finally the proof of the pudding is in the is the performance, right? So I prefer to go by quantitative
Right.
analysis, and that's my personal opinion. Okay. Um, the other thing is, of course, your own experience in dealing with the fund house. How do you find the service at a local level? Has the fund house had too many issues, controversies and stuff like that? Obviously, those are other qualitative factors that you want to look at. And of course, don't get swayed by all these star fund managers and all that, because if you would, then you would never invest. Then you would not have an HDFC equity fund, right? These
Correct.
are a couple of things. Other than that, as I said, I do a lot of reading. So I don't say a lot of reading, but I do specific reading, which can help in the management of portfolio. So for example, again, since I was running a family office, right, with large amount of assets involved, so certainly it's good idea to have a pulse on, like today, for example, markets are still up despite the fact that commodity prices have gone through the roof, and commodity prices going through the roof means inflation. So to me, probably that means a bit of a cautious stance, but I'm wrong, because the markets are touching all-time highs, right? So it's a good idea to have a
Right.
grip of economy, and that's why I said, like, Economist is good. Otherwise, I like Bloomberg Quint a lot. I think they come out with really good reads, again, on economy, market, so many other things they come out with. So I mean, these are a couple of things that I used to basically do. And one more thing is, yeah, so that's on the technical knowledge bit. Yeah.
So I agree with you, because when we started, I don't think we, in 2002-3, when I started, there was nothing technical tools. Morningstar was not available. We used to do our home research and everything. But one thing what I realized was saying that the experience that I got was every client that you meet evolves you, because his questions,
Yeah.
if you are able to answer his questions, I think that's where a lot of things gets cleared for us,
Yeah.
because that's every client teaches you to improve yourself.
Actually,
Because
that's
when he throws a questions, Mrin, and if you are not able to answer that, to find an answer is something which where you evolve as advisors or distributors.
you know what? That's the same thing for me as a financial educator now. Believe me, I had no knowledge on NPS. Okay. I had no knowledge. I didn't know much about EPS and all these things. But the thing is that when we are dealing with companies, and that's the other
Correct.
thing I want to say, that it's important for people to have holistic knowledge on these things also. See, every company today has NPS as a big retirement benefit, because it comes with tax benefits, right? So you need to know about NPS really well. You need to know about EPF. EPF, as long as you have some basic knowledge, it's good. But NPS, insurance, health insurance, I did not know anything about health insurance. Believe me, okay? Because my husband's company cover is there for us. That was enough, honestly. I didn't know anything about it. Now, because of doing all these sessions and because of the multiple queries that have come, uh, loans. I didn't know anything about home loan, because when I was working in Citibank, I had got a loan from the bank, and I paid it by the time I left the bank. So I didn't know anything else about loans. Okay. So everything, believe me, as a financial educator, when I started, I only knew, of course, I knew about mutual funds, stocks and everything, but all these other things I have picked up on the way. Today I do sessions on tax planning, and I can answer as good as a CA now, basically. So, we'll get questions like,
Right.
I have one house here and I have one house in native. So can I claim HRA and section 24? And, we'll get all these questions on international, on capital gains, right? I can answer all of them. And
Capital
it's
gains, yeah.
really by doing the sessions and getting those questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think Mr. Pradeep Kamdar, you wanted the telephone number of someone. Please get in touch with me. I can put you on to someone in Morningstar. Mr. Pant, you've written saying that MFDs are not allowed to do financial planning. Then what is the use of FP software? It depends if you are going to upgrade yourself at some point of time. Because in this session, there are people who are advisors and MFDs also. So I think that it cannot be, the questions cannot be split. So somebody does ask about financial planning software. So that's why Mrin answered. I think we've been able to answer every other question. If we don't have more questions, then I think we can say thank you to Mrin. And today, Mrin has actually given, at least I have learned a lot, Mrin, because I am not technologically savvy. And I have never used a lot of, these platforms that are available. And I think today I realized saying that how I need to evolve myself. And I definitely will work on for the community on the FV group website and have an online helpline. And I think that is something which was an eye opener for me. And so that, the more people can discover a lot of distributors across the country. And today is the need of the hour after this pandemic. I think many of them would need it. And I'll definitely, we at FIFA will work on this. And thank you so much for sharing your absolute enlightenment. And it was an absolutely enlightening event. And it will definitely help a lot of people to evolve and be growing in their business. Thank you so much, Mrin.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me here. Nice to be here among all advisors. After a while, I
Thank
should
you.
say. So thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah,
You too.
bye.
You too. Have a great weekend.